This video is going to be another installment of the Bug Out Bronco project, and I would love to show you my new high lift jack, which is really cool, the high lift emergency toolkit, which is really cool, or some other cool stuff. But instead, we're going to talk about power window actuators and motor replacement, because this one went out a couple of weeks ago. I know that's not the most exciting topic, but maybe it'll help somebody. That's what's coming up next on Survival on Purpose. Welcome back to Survival on Purpose. My name's Brian. Thanks for joining me. So, got the old 88 Bronco back here, and I think the last installment I was changing the spindle bearings and wheel bearings and brakes, and I really wanted to do something fun, but a couple of weeks ago the power window went out, and it always goes out when it's down and it's about to rain. So I had to remove this one, so I'm not going to be able to show you the removal process, but I will go over it and I'll show you what I did, and it's really not rocket science. It'd be very easy to explain. I briefly considered changing it to a manual crank windows, and I may still do that, but bottom line, that was going to turn into a major project, and I know I could do it. I know there's probably junkyards or whatever. Honestly, I just didn't have time to fool with it. I've been very busy, and I need to get this thing fixed because right now my son's driving it to work every day, and it's getting hot, and the air conditioner's not working really great in it. So I've got the window propped up with a piece of 2x4 right now. So I thought the simplest way to fix it would be just to put it back the way it came from the factory. I bought a whole replacement assembly for about 117 bucks from O'Reilly's Auto, I think. Lifetime guarantee. Who knows how good it is, but hopefully it'll be fine. We're gonna so let me stop rambling, get you down there, and I'll show you what I had to do to take this one out, and then we'll put the new one in, and hopefully we'll do it before it gets dark, because yep, it's about to get dark again. Okay, so you can see the door panel's been removed. You can see right now I've got a 2x4 wedging the window glass up, and I actually had to split it, and yes, I batoned it. But it's been a couple weeks, so I hope I can remember how all this stuff goes back together. But we'll get you in, try to get you in a little bit closer here, and where you can see what's going on. It's going to be kind of hard because there's not a lot of way to work here. But a couple things that really bother me about any time I've had to mess with windows on vehicles, and I've had to do it 3 or 4 times in my life, they never seem to give you a way to access the stuff you need to access. So you can see I actually just took this hole, I cut a hole here. It was a couple of holes. I just cut a bigger hole right here to where I can get my hand in there and deal with it, because it's just almost impossible. So I've never done this exact repair before, so I'm probably going to be looking like a serious doofus. Well, you can watch it, follow along, and maybe we'll learn something together. So let me grab the stuff and we'll do it. Okay, sorry for the close-up of my ugly mug, but I'm trying to get you a close-up of the door here. So before we start putting the new one in, let's talk real quickly about how to take the old one out, because maybe I can save you a little bit of trouble. So as I often do, I make things a lot harder than they have to be, because when I don't know what I'm doing. So I assumed the problem was the motor. It was locked up, it wasn't turning. I determined that it wasn't the switch, because the switches are just modular. They're right here, and you can just unplug these. I swapped them out, and they worked. The switch on this door worked fine for the other one, so I knew it wasn't the switch. So then I ran a jumper wire from a jumper cable to the battery, just straight to the motor, and it didn't do anything. So I thought the motor was bad. So the motor actually bolts onto what this is called the regulator, and it bolts on these 3 holes here, and this shaft kind of went in the middle, so it went something like kind of like that. See how it goes in there, and those bolts there. So I went to a lot of trouble to get these bolts out of here. Had to drill some holes out, cut this out bigger, because it wasn't any way to get to them. And I'm cussing the engineer. Okay, I wasn't cussing, but I was saying mean things about the engineers at Ford. And so, but I got this out, and I realized it comes as a kit. It comes with the motor already mounted to the regulator, and as best I can tell, there's just 3 bolts that are going to go here. Let me get that out of your way. Here, here, and here to mount this thing, and that's it. So really and truly, if I'd have just taken these 3 bolts out here, I could have taken the whole thing out as an assembly, because this only mounts to this, not the door. So there you go. Another doofus moment for the Survival on Purpose Bronco Bug Out project. But I got it out, and I got the new one. So now we're going to try to get it back in. So I've got the wedge 2x4 here. The bottom of this window has a track on it, and I'll show you that in a minute, that this runs in. So this is your slide that basically, as this thing goes up and down, it pulls your window up, and this swivels to stay in that track. And so this is what connects with the glass, and there's metal tracks on the bottom of the glass. And then this is going to mount inside here in about this position here. So what I got to do now is take the 2x4 out, get this in there, and then keep the glass from falling down and put it all together. And the other tricky part is the bolts that hold this in are it's going to be here, here, and here. So I think I can get 2 of them all. It's just kind of hard to get your hand up in there and hold the nuts on back of them because they're bolts with nuts on them. So but we're gonna give it a shot now. So here we go. First step, take the 2x4 out, and I got it in there pretty good. Now the window comes down, and you can see the little groove. So there's the little groove there, and that's where this plastic piece rides in that little groove. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put this in the hole while I'm holding this up with my other hand. There's a little post in here that goes all the way down that from the little vent window that you got to get this thing in front of. So let me see if I can. Maybe you have to. I think maybe I have to do the top end first, like this. So now I've got this slid over. You got to put this in the track and slide it in. Okay, so now it's in. Okay, so I have an unseen helper here holding the glass up now, so hopefully it won't fall. I got to get the holes in this bracket to line up. At least the first one to line up here. Okay, I got it lined up. So just hold what you got right there. Let me get the bolt in. All right, I got the first bolt in here, and now I got to put the nut on back of it. Okay, I got it started, so that's good. So once the first hole's in, you should be able to swivel it around till the rest of them line up. There's that one. Get that nut on. I was fighting this thing for 15 minutes until I finally decided I had to go beg for help. And I got help, and now it's going really smoothly. So these 3 holes are pretty much the mounting holes. Lined up just fine. Let's see if I can get this in there. And so I've got like a 7/16 on the inside. I'm using this little wrench here, and a 3/8 on the outside. These just need to be tight. I don't know how tight, just tight enough where they don't come loose. This one's not the same size. Somebody must replace this with a 10mm at some point in the lifespan of this vehicle. Okay, so all that stuff I said about, make sure it's a 3/8 and a 7/16 and all that, just forget that. It's whatever they happen to have laying around when they put the last one in. Okay, so there, we're good on that. Before we go any further, let's get the wiring harness off of this bad boy. Somewhere there's a wire coming off of this thing, I know. We're going to plug this in, and then we'll see if it works. Because if it doesn't work, I'm going to cry like a baby right here on YouTube. Get in there. Okay, here's the moment of truth. Looky there. Oh, you can't even see that, can you? Hold on a minute. Okay, looky there. That's working. Have a look at the window just to make sure there's no tricks involved. Okay, so the next step is going to be to put the door panel back on. I'll back you up and we'll take a look at that. And then that'll be it for this one. Okay, so the door panel on this particular vehicle comes in 2 pieces. You got the top piece here, and then the bottom piece, which goes on down here. And this also has a brace here that holds the armrest. It kind of supports the top piece. I took it off to get it out of the way because I had to reach inside there. So first step is going to be to put it back on. You're going to make sure you get it right side up. In other words, you got the little screw holes here on top. That's what's going to screw into the bottom of your armrest. So I'll tell you, one of the first things I did after I bought this truck was to I went to Sears, and they had a pretty nice tool set on sale for like $200 or so, $250 maybe. Oh, and I it's Craftsman tools. They're made in the USA. They may not be the best in the world. I understand that. They're definitely not Snap-ons, but they get the job done. And I've had a pretty good bit of tools over the years, but if you have teenage sons, and over the years they've gone away. So anyway, so there's the bracket for that. I'm rambling again. Next step in this process is going to be to put the bottom on, because the top kind of goes over the bottom. And so the bottom actually screws on. It's got 1, 2, 3, and a bunch of screws across the bottom. And we'll just start with those. And get to it. Okay, once you get all these screws in the bottom, I think there are like 74 of them. Next step is going to be to get the door panel on. It's easier to open the vent window up out of the way and just slide this hole here over your locking knob. You have to make sure you got a hole here that mounts to the inside here that goes onto this bracket here. And you got to get the go ahead and put your controls through the hole there. Slide the door handle through the slot here first. You can open it up, it helps. And once you get that in there, then you can kind of get everything around. I'm pretty sure this is all it's going to take. Then it's just got these little friction clips that pop in on the sides here. Let's get this up here. There we go. Okay. So we got it up here on the door lock mechanism. We got some little clips that just pop into some little holes on here. You can make sure they're lined up and just pop them in. Pop them in there. Maybe a couple here. Okay, so we're almost there. Got the door panel in. We got the bottom screwed on. And we have one screw to hold the door panel on. And just screws in the top of that bracket we installed. And there's another big screw in here left over, but I don't know where it goes. I'm not even sure this is the right screw, but it's going in, so it is now. But there we go. Now the last part of the process is just put the little bracket on here. This thing was just kind of jerry-rigged in here. I don't know, I think Jerry gets a bum rap on that deal. Not perfect, but a little duct tape will fix that. Okay, it's fixed. All right, I know this is not the most professional repair you've ever seen. I don't know how helpful this will be, but if you were, hopefully it will be somewhat helpful. If you need to replace the power windows in 88 Bronco, actually there's so many years that have the exact same doors, exact same windows. F-150 pickup trucks from like the 80s to early 90s. So a couple of takeaways. First of all, don't waste your time taking the motor off from the regulator because it's going to come as one unit when you buy it. And it's so much easier to take those 3 bolts out, I promise. And second takeaway is, always the first thing to check is going to be this switch. Just take it off. You can pop the switch out. Both these things are interchangeable. So if you got one that is working, then just swap the switches out and see if the switch to the one that's not working makes the other one work. In other words, you can test the switch. It's an easy way to test the switch. Second thing to do would be to run a jumper cable from the battery to put some little jumper wires in the motor line itself to make sure there's not a problem inside the switch housing, but probably that's not going to be it. So anyway, I know this has not been the most exciting video, but I hope it's been helpful. Just stay tuned. We are going to get to the high lift jack on the Bronco project. We are going to get to the high lift. Sent me a really nice toolkit to check out. I think you're going to like that. Got some Midland radios to check out. We've got a lot of things, more stuff coming, so just bear with me. But it seems like, some things take priority. And when the wind is down and it's raining, that's priority. Or when it's up and it's steaming hot, that's priority. So anyway, I'm rambling in the closing. Thanks for watching Survival on Purpose. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for clicking that thumbs up, for sharing this video with all your friends. And thank you so much for doing all your Amazon shopping through the Survival on Purpose links. I really appreciate the support. Once again, my name's Brian. You're watching Survival on Purpose. Remember, survival's not an accident, so be prepared. See you next time. And line it up with the big hole. Not what I wanted to happen there. There's those Ford engineers that are not my favorite people right now. I thought they might be 1/4 inch, but that would make way too much sense. Oh my goodness gracious. All right, I'll be right back. I got to go get some help. Lovely, lovely, lovely. So the window just fell down in here and hopefully it didn't break. Don't have to be this hard, does it?